Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We got the Big Bite Bros here with my Nick.
BLT!
And today we're doing something a little different. We're going to be doing some deer season prep.
Oh yeah.
What do you think, Tom? It's that magical time of year, huh?
Oh, I'm excited. Nick and I are about to spend the next 4 months sending trail cam pics back and forth to each other. Our wives are going to love it.
Yeah, it's that time of year. The bucks are pretty much full grown. They're still in velvet, but we know what they're going to be. We know our hit listers already. Tom and me keep sending them back and forth. And like Tom said, we got 4 months of this before, season's going to be wrapping up. So what are we going to do today?
We're going to start talking about some of the preseason tactics that each of us employ. We kind of have different setups that we like to do.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about some of our goals for the season. And I think we're ready to get after it on Nick's property.
Yep,
here.
we're going to start here first, and then we're going to take you over to BLT's and show you his setup.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to Apple Tree Lane. It's pretty obvious why we call it this. It's a lane of apple trees. So, as you know, if you didn't know, in Michigan, you're not allowed to bait. So one of the biggest things people do are they put in food plots or they plant apple trees. Me, I have a row of apple trees we nicknamed Apple Tree Lane, and there's about 16 apple trees here. They produce really good apples. It's great for early season, especially like that early October bow season, because the apples are just starting to drop and the deer are just funneling in here. So hence why I plant the food plot around the apple tree lane, around the apple trees as well. So what's really special about this spot is we have a county line ditch that runs through our property. Now we have a culvert here that comes from our north woods into the food plot, and deer, they'll jump that ditch anytime. They'll go up and down it. But early season, when there's no pressure, a lot of the times the deer, they'll just cross that culvert with no care in the world because they don't know it's hunting season yet. And they'll come into this food plot. Now for me, this has always been a great spot, this corner, and there's not a good tree. I don't have a tree here within 40 to 50 yards that I could put a tree stand in. So what I did is I put in a tripod stand. We'll show you that here in a little bit. The tripod stand works great because I can climb up in it, and it's tucked in behind here, this big autumn olive bush. Now, autumn olive grows crazy like fast. So each year we come in here and we trim it, hence what we're doing today for deer prep. So we're gonna trim it. I sneak up into here, I sit down. A lot of times the deer will cross this culvert. I've had numerous hunts in this hunt before where they sneak in through these north woods. It's so green in early October that they'll be coming right on the culvert, and they're only 25, 28 yards away. So I gotta stand up real quick. I have to get my bow on them. But the best part is, once they get 15, 20 yards from the culvert, they're already into the apple trees, into the food plot. So most of the time, the reason they're coming here is to eat. So they're gonna come in here, come into the food plot. I'm gonna sit up here and I carve a little hole in the autumn olive bush, as I mentioned, and I'll sit here and just be able to wait for the perfect opportunity for my shot. This has worked out before. Last year, I actually shot and missed my #1 target buck in this stand, and then I was able to get him late season. I think it was the second weekend of muzzleloader season, but I was able to get him in late season, and I called him the redemption buck because I shot and missed him in bow season and he came back. Now, this year, we're gonna be planting this food plot and we're gonna be ready for some big bucks. Got Tom doing some trimming down there. As you can see, this is the before. Last year, this was all carved out. So this is all regrowth. But that's, like I said, this is a big autumn bush. And every year I have to come in and trim all this. We got BLT on the job though. Pretty soon we'll be looking through here. October 1st. Ooh, I can't wait. As you can see, this is a dry, unplanted food plot. It is hot out today, it's dry. We just got done cutting our shooting lanes, doing our deer prep as far as working on our stands, getting those ready. But our goal was to plant the food plots today, but we just haven't had rain. It's been 8-10 days without rain, and the ground's just super hard and dry. We're just needing some rain. But real quick, I wanted to mention my favorite blend that I've used the last couple of years is a UP, Michigan Upper Peninsula company called Northwoods, and it's a Sweet Feast, Sweet Brassica blend. This is awesome. They have turnips and radishes, and they got some clover and other stuff for early season, but it's a great late season plot. It's worked in this food plot for me. I think this is my 4th year I'm going to be planting it. The deer love it. It's great for early bow season, and the best part, like I said, is it hangs on for that late season with the turnips and radishes. So I'd give that a shot if you were thinking about something, but that's what we're going to be planting here, hopefully within the next week or so.
Alrighty, well, we finished up Nick's trimming back there. He's got his stand looking pretty nice. He's got a little bit of work to do on the food plot side if we ever get some rain.
I hope so. We need it. But it's getting late in the day. Let's go check on BLT's property.
Let's go. Hi there, I'm BLT, and I'm here to talk about my pre-deer season tactics, rituals, and goals today. And I'm on the way back to one of the main spots I hunt. I have a pretty small strip of land that I have access to, so it's very narrow, so I can't do a whole lot with it, but I try to maximize the deer flow with this spot that I'm going to take you guys to. I call it the funnel. The funnel is a pretty cool spot because I have a ridge that leads directly down to where I set up my stand. On the other side of me is a thicket that the deer like to come through as well. And on the other side of that is a big chunk of water, so it kind of pushes all the deer through it, hence the name funnel. Now, why these deer are moving through, on either side of me, I have a cornfield on one side and I have sugar beets on the other side. Some years they switch back and forth for crop rotation, but either way, it really gets a lot of deer movement. The early season isn't typically something that brings me a lot of excitement because the deer are out in the field still and they're not moving around that much. But then once I get into the rut activity phase, like beginning of November, typically around here, and then even in through second rut through December, I've had a lot of success. So I'm gonna take you guys back to the stand and show you what I do. I've had this fixed ladder stand here for quite some time. I prefer the fixed ladder stand rather than do a climber and have to climb up and down every time if I can help it. I'm lucky that I'm able to leave this out here and not have any issues with it. One important part to this is safety. So this is my first time out here this year. I want to make sure it's firmly in place before I climb up it. I also want to check the strap, make sure it's in good condition and tight as I do a couple steps up. Make sure my bar is firmly connected to the tree. That's going to provide stability and it gives you side to side support. And then up top here, I've got a orange ratchet strap you can see against the trunk of the tree holding the top in place. We want to make sure that all of that's firmly secure before we just trust it, because nobody wants to fall out of a stand. Since I don't have a lot of space and a lot of different spots to move around in, I end up hunting a lot of the same spot over and over. I'll move around and set up some ground blinds throughout the season if I have a certain wind I want to hunt, or if I see a certain scrape or rub line that's really producing. But part of not getting busted while I'm out here, which would just blow up this spot for the rest of the year, is good scent coverage. And I'm going to plug something that I hope everybody looks into, not because I want you to buy the product, but because it genuinely helps me have a more successful season. That is called deer dander. Now, deer dander, I use it all season long. I usually spritz some on my boots and walk out. And I can't tell you the number of times I've had deer follow my entire trail out and walk right up to the bottom of my stand. This stuff legitimately works. And if you're not using this, I highly recommend using some kind of scent cover on your way out, because that saved me from getting busted many times. let's get up here and check out the situation. So far, everything's passing the sniff test. Ah! Spider! Okay, let's try that again. We all have a thing. I am afraid of spiders and taxes. That's my thing. Let's go again. All right, welcome to the funnel. Like I said earlier, this is a super fun spot to hunt because the rut activity just starts going wild. I've seen upwards of a dozen different racks come through in the day. Typically in my spots, I'll keep a set of rattling horns at all of them just so I don't forget them for the day if I can stand to leave them up here. If they're natural antlers, I try to take those back in because the porcupines won't let them get through the season. But over here off to the north, I have this really thick cover coming through. It's a big thicket. Over here east of me, typically back here, I get a lot of standing water. Right now it's pretty dry, but as fall goes into it and we start getting those fall storms coming through, the water will accumulate and pushes the deer kind of north of me here. Now south of me, I have a nice ridge line that kind of drives out this way and runs north to south. So this spot right out in front of me, I typically get a lot of deer coming through. Besides the superb rut activity out here, the other part that makes this spot really special to me is this is where I shot my biggest buck ever 2 years ago. Now, this was one of my target bucks, and it was the biggest target buck that I've ever seen out here. It was a 10 point, I thought at the time, and I never saw him during daylight all the way through beginning of season until muzzleloader. Now, in that time, of course, I had night pictures every once in a while where he'd pop through here. But as everybody knows out there, September 29th, every big buck in the woods goes completely nocturnal and they vanish forever. Well, I got lucky enough to see him in muzzleloader. He was about 120 yards away in the thicket that I showed you guys earlier, and I just could not get a shot. Now, for the 2 weeks after that, I was absolutely gutted. That was horrible. It felt like he had slipped right through my fingers. So fast forward a couple weeks, I got out on December 26th that year and said, I'm going to sit in the woods. This is going to be my last hunt of the year. We had a big storm coming through the next couple days after that, and I wasn't going to go sit out here in my stand in the rain. I was done. I wasn't feeling it anymore. Lo and behold, 9 o'clock, I watch a group of does come through in front of me. And they had a couple little bucks following them, and then out of the back comes this bruiser. And it was the 10 point, and my target buck I was watching all season long steps out in front of me. I got a great shot on him. He didn't go too far. I'll show you guys the walk up if I can get it on here without showing too much bad stuff. And I ended up getting him scored through Commemorative Bucks of Michigan, which I highly recommend doing it, even if it's not gonna make the books or anything. It was an awesome experience. They're a great organization. It netted 142, which for Michigan is an extremely respectable deer, and I was so psyched, and I can't stop thinking about that moment. So last year, I actually didn't take a buck at all because of how hyped up I was from the year before. Now, I saw quite a few 8s, and they were smaller, probably more like 2.5-year-old bucks for around here, maybe 3.5, but they just weren't quite measuring up, and I'm happy for anybody, for any buck that you get that gets your blood pumping. I am all for it. But for me, I wanted to hold off and see if something bigger showed up, and it just never happened.
Holy crap. Wait till you guys see this.
up this video. So thanks for coming along today, guys. We did a fun deer prep video, but real quick, we wanted to talk about our goals for this year. Mine are to shoot a 3.5-year-old or older. I have a few on camera right now that I've been watching grow all summer, and I'm hoping to target one of those bucks. 3.5-year-old in Michigan isn't anything to shy about. You know, they're out there, but they're hard to find, but I'm hoping that's my goal this year. What about you, Tom? You got a goal?
Yeah, I'm a little bit spoiled. I got my 142 a couple years back, and I would love to get one that is right there with it, or maybe even bigger if I have one that shows up. But we'll see what happens. More importantly, we want to hear about your goals for the season. So if you want to comment below, tell us what kind of bucks you're after. And also, if you have any stories about target bucks from years past that were successes, failures, or just absolute heartbreaks, please comment below.
Yeah, we've all been there with those heartbreaks, right? So, yep. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you've been seeing so far. And we're going to keep bringing you content like this and more fishing videos, just a little bit of everything. So, yeah, let's see how this season goes.
Yeah, have a great season.